Hello, welcome to Subjective Insights. What do you think of that little intro? It's quite good, isn't it? Today I'm going to talk about supply and demand, or economic laws in general, and reification. Now, I've mentioned reification in a previous video on morality, right, which is where when people talk about an ultimate moral order, or kind of godly given moral order, what they're doing is they're reifying human construct, which is morality. Humans make up morality, and because we make morality up, we have control over morality, but we hide this fact away from ourselves by reifying it. That is, treating morality in the same way as we treat physical laws like gravity. Now then, gravity, right, is, you cannot disobey it. Look, I'll try. Look, watch. I'm going to try and fly now. It doesn't work, right? Maybe if I could catch it off guard. No, I can't catch it off guard. I cannot break the law of gravity. Now then, in economic terms, people treat the law of supply and demand and that in the same way. Right? Supply and demand is really a cover for the con, okay? So, people say, like, say I have a product that I'm selling, and all of a sudden supply increases, right? The demand increases. The cost of producing these goods that I'm producing doesn't go up, right? With demand, it stays the same. But I use supply and demand, I use the fact that there's loads of you asking for my product as an excuse to mark up the price, right? And I say, oh, I'm sorry I've had to charge you more than this product's worth, but it's supply and demand, it's out of my hands, my friend, you know? It's a bit like I could say that there isn't any demand for punches in the face, so I will just go and give people punches in the face for free. Sorry, not my fault. Punch you, I can't help it. It's supply and demand, mate. It's supply and demand. I got to punch you in the face for nothing because, like, nobody wants to get punched in the face, and I want to punch people in the face. So supply and demand. Sorry, can't get me back. They hide behind it. And then, I mean, it becomes kind of obvious, doesn't it, when you say something like, when you say it like that, when you have the capitalist or the person producing the goods saying, oh, I'm sorry that I have to charge 10 times more than before because there's 10 times more demand and the same amount of supply. Yeah, it takes me the same amount of time to produce this good, and the same value of materials go into the production of this good. But I'm sorry, I just have to take all that money, that lovely money, and put it in my bank and buy houses and stuff. I can't, it's not my fault. It's market forces, mate. It's like, fuck off, you know, you're just ripping people off. And you know that if you openly rip people off, they won't let you rip them off. So you've got to cover that behind some kind of physical law. It's the same, the immigrant problem, right? What people are doing here. So labour is seen as a product on the market, right? And what people say is immigration causes an increase in the supply of labour, and seeing as the demand for labour in the UK remains the same, the cost of labour goes down, which is just false, because if the supply for labour remained the same, then the influx of labour coming in would not be used up, because there would be no demand for it. And that's what reification is. This is also talking, I think Jean-Paul Sartre, the famous French existentialist who wrote Being and Nothingness, when he talks about bad faith or bad conscience, I can't remember which term it is, this is what he's talking about. It's where we pretend that we don't have a choice when we actually do. Now, I'm not saying determinism is false there, because you choose what you want, right? But instead of saying, I'm choosing this because I want to, you'll say, I'm doing this because I have to. So in the case of the capitalist there, instead of saying that I'm charging you more because I can and I want to, and you mugs will fucking take it, he hides behind this so-called law of supply and demand, and and covers the con through that. You got to bear in mind, economics is made up out of many individuals interacting, right? And so if you're looking at that from the outside and you're seeking to study it, then yeah, supply and demand is a valuable thing. But if you're an actor within the system, you can't use supply and demand to cover your selfishness. Rather, supply and demand are the symptoms of this selfishness, are the cover, and the cover the selfish actors within the game use. Goodbye.